How you guys doing today, huh? How you guys doing today? Today is a very special day today. I am doing a really big interview today. Today is a great day. And when I was a kid, I grew up loving sports. Sports was my favorite thing in the world, right? And I got introduced because of Coach Walsh and Robbie, hockey. And I love hockey. I hope everybody else loves hockey like I love hockey. I think the best part about hockey is what? The fights. The fights are the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? Let me get some people in here. Today I'm going to have the biggest person in the world on here. I'm going to have actually a couple of the biggest people in the world today. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. You know, big shout out to everybody. Let me just get some people up in here. Let me see. I'm just adding everybody real quick. How y'all doing? What's up, guys? Doing a big interview today. Let me try to invite my homie too. I'm just getting everything. Hey, today's gonna be a good day today. What's up with you, man? I'm just inviting everybody up in here. Oh, the king, Rob, Ray, Mr. Razor. How you doing?
Dude, you gotta calm down.
It's too early, right? How you doing, brother, man? Peace and blessings. Oh, man, this is a dream come true. I want to say, first off, thank you so much for giving me this time. You're a hero to me. You're a true king. You've done the biggest things in NHL for the history, and I'm blessed. Thank you for giving me this time, man.
Hey, no problem at all, buddy. No problem at all. I appreciate the kind words.
Man, thank you, man. I'm ready to give these kids and teens and some people what they want, man. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's get it. All right. Mr. Rob Ray, Mr. Razor. Number one, ready? I got to ask you this. What was it like in 1996? You had 7 goals, 3 assists, and 286 penalty minutes. Can you give me the best memory from that year?
Oh my God, those years kind of go together. You know, back then, I still look at it, and I never really look at anything towards myself. I always look at the guys we had in the team, and we had great guys. And we had young guys, man. We had a lot of fun. So we were tight. We still are to this day. So I think more than, the personal side of it, it's more, the friendships you created and still have. That's what it's all about. It's still a game. It's a game, dude. It's a game that grown men play. And we're fortunate that it prolongs the time you have to go get a real job. So, hey, that allowed you to be a kid back then. So, exactly. In a given year, what, goals, whatever. It doesn't mean much to me, points. It was the good times you had.
Exactly. Making everybody feel good. Now, what was the competition like in high school? I mean, did you think you would be in the NHL or ever be as far as you were?
No, you know what? I came from a small town. We only had 1,200 people in my town. So I left my town when I was 15 years old to go play junior in a bigger town. So I moved away, lived with another family, played, and each year I went from junior B to tier 2 to major junior A for 3 years and then here. So did I think I was ever going to make it? No, even after I got drafted, and I never thought I was ever going to play in the NHL. I thought it would be, it's kind of feather in my cap. I got drafted at the end of my junior and go to a camp, and that's kind of the way you ended it. And, God blessed me that, I was able to keep going. But I never dreamt that, no, you're a kid, like every other kid playing basketball or hockey or baseball, you're pretending you're being your favorite players and you're out on the street and driveways and you dreamt of it, but you never thought of it, that it was ever going to happen. And even years after I was playing here, you still kind of sat back and go, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I here? How did I get here? So, it was awesome. That's why you got to have dreams. You got to have
King Razor, man. Dreams come true when you believe. You're a prime example. You're like David and Goliath. You beat everybody up, man. I watched you as a kid.
Well, I did that because when I got here, my skill wasn't good enough, to maybe get me into the league, or if I could get there, to stay there. So I was when I first came here, they said, this is what we need you to do. Will you do it? And it'll give you your best chance. So I'm like, heck yeah, I'll do whatever it takes legally to get there. So I think the big thing was me realizing the opportunity I had and taking a hold of it. But the big thing is, you know, at that time, John Van Boxmeer coming to me, that was a coach in Rochester, saying, hey, this is what they need, and they think you can do it. You know, will you do it? So, you know,
100%.
I was lucky on both sides.
1988.
Yeah.
Can you take me through draft night? What was going through your head before you got picked for Buffalo? What were you scared, nervous, butterflies, anything like that?
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting. I didn't know if I was going to get drafted or not, and the draft was always in Montreal back then. So, you know, you're literally there, and I'll tell you what, it's a long-ass day when you go in the 5th round, because then there was only 21 teams, but it seemed like it took forever to go through. And, you know, every pick, you knew you weren't going in the top 3 rounds, so it was like, get that over with. And then every pick from that point on, it was like, yeah. And, you know, get your hopes off your back, hopes are up. But when it did happen, it was like, oh my God. Like, you watch, you know, 100 kids go down to the floor ahead of you and watch exactly what they did. As soon as you hear your name, it's like, okay, what the hell do I do now? Like, you didn't know what to do. But I'll tell you what, for me, it was good because, like I said, I came from a small town, and I was the first person from my area to ever be drafted. So I got home the next day. It was like, you know, they were partying in the streets and parades because they were so excited for me. So it was pretty darn cool. It was probably more cool when I got home than, you know, at the draft itself.
That's amazing. Congratulations, man. Hey, I got to say, in 1989 versus Pittsburgh, you got your first goal, man. What in the assist, what was that like, man?
Well,
NHL.
We played the night before in Roch, and then Boxy told me I was getting called up, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, you're lying. But, you know, but it worked out. I got there, and, you know, not knowing what to expect, and, you know, warm up atrocious, and I never got a shift till, you know, partway through that first period, and I scored in my first shift, ended up going assists. I was +3, and statistically wise, it was the best game I ever had in the NHL. But it was, and you know what? Even if it was over, then you could have just walked away from it and said, "Hey, I made it." And at that point, I just wish, you know, back then your parents were going to be able to see it, and you know they had no idea. They couldn't watch it. They couldn't. So it would have been nice to be able to share it with friends and family.
That's amazing, man. Hey, can you take me back to the season where you had 410 penalty minutes? 410. That is amazing, man. Hockey, it needs fighting, right? And fighting is the most important thing to me. It's too slow or too fast now. There's no such thing as fighting, really. And you guys were doing it then. Like, minute and a half fights all the time.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, long fights. They weren't like today. You know, when you locked on, especially with some of those older guys, you really knew that it was going to be a battle of endurance more than anything else. But that's the way the game was played back then. I didn't play that way, you know, all the way up through, or you never would have made it. When you got here, like I said, you know, you had to adjust and do what they wanted. But we had some guys that loved playing that way, so it really made it easy, and you just kind of fed off each other. And I've talked to guys that I've got to know since that played against us, and they were like, dude, every time we'd go to your barn, we were like, let's get the hell out of here as quick as possible. You know, like that. That's the way the game was going to be played. But, you know, with Matt Barnaby and Gordy Donnelly and Brad May and, you know, Cruz,
big shout out.
Oh my God, we had so many guys that just loved to play that way and get involved that it made it easy. But I'll tell you what, as you said about the fighting it's unique to our game, right?
Yes.
But it's an entertainment factor and value that is special in our game that other than lacrosse, you know, you don't have it.
Exactly.
And I think people now, with the way things are with, you know, head injuries and concussions and CTE and all that kind of thing, that, you know, they kind of try to push it to the back burner. But it'll never happen again, because the kids now, when they're coming up through, they're not coached that way. They're not taught that the way. They don't see it. So eventually fighting will just dissolve itself out of the game, and it'll
So
be
you
gone.
think old-time hockey is out of the question now?
The NHL will probably never say, "Hey, fighting is over," because they realize and they see the way it's coming with the young guys. You know, there's nights I sit there and I go, "This would be a good time for somebody to get in a fight and get things riled up."
Yeah.
But then I think about it and I go, they have no idea. They've never been taught or played that way to understand that part of it. So it'll just eventually, you know, I think we had 6 fights this year in the Sabres all season long. You know, that was some nights a game, you know, in the past. But is there a place for it? Yeah, I think there's a place for it. You know, I get how they're being more careful on head injuries, and you know, a lot of that has to do to lawsuits and all that kind of thing and liability. But I think it's special about our game. And I'll tell you what, still, and I talk about the entertainment factor. Somebody gets in a fight, it doesn't matter what building you're in. If it's an uneducated fan in Florida or San Jose or, you know, someplace like Montreal that's supposed to be the most prestigious crowd in the game, they go nuts for it. They love it. They love it. And you know, I think everybody understands what they're in for when they go into it. But yeah, it's a unique part of it that is highly entertaining. People love it, but sad to say that, you know, in a few years from now, you'll very rarely see it.
That hurts, you know. And I can tell you this. I remember as a kid, and can you tell the people right now about when that fan was on top of the glass, jumped over into the bench, and then you threw him onto the ice? He was bang, bang. Yeah. The best thing I've seen in hockey history.
That was in Quebec City, and there was a 5-on-5 fight on the ice. Everybody was fighting on the ice, and you know, we're all watching it. And you look up, all of a sudden, this guy's sitting on the glass behind the bench, and John Muckler grabbed his stick, and he goes, "I'll get him," and he went to poke him back into the stands, and he jumped in the box, and we grabbed on him, threw him on the ice. He jumps up on the ice, driving back into the bench again, and we got him. But we, you know, and then the cops were out there jumping on him, getting him off, and you know, there ended up bullets laying all over the ice that fell out of the cop thing, but come to find out, the guy was protesting the violence in the game.
Okay,
that was what his full intention was, I guess, at the beginning, and it turned out to be what it was. But yeah, there was just one of those times in the game over the years that it was one of those unique things that happened that I didn't get a good laugh out of.
Yeah.
This man, you'd be arrested and jail for something, and you know, you'd be kicked out of the NHL. So thank God it happened then and not now.
That's a big fact. Hey, Sean McMorrow, great king. He just said you're a legend. He's gonna come on a little bit too after. He said you're the legend, man. He's a great man.
Sean played the game hard. He played it right, and I respect
Sean McMorrow. Yeah. Big shout to him. What was it like receiving the King Clancy Award, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it was cool because, you know, it was, when I came here, people accepted me really quick, and it made me feel at home and like it was my home. And it is now. But I always felt like I wanted to give back to them. How do you do it? How do you do it? So I always got involved in as much as I possibly could and gave back where I could and when I could. And you know, people here respect that. And it was great. And it was something that opened a lot of doors and a lot of people's eyes, because I think for me it was important too, because people watched the way you played.
Yes.
In their minds, that's the way you lived your life. And
1,000,000%.
I always wanted to make sure that I got that point across. That's not me. That's Rob on the ice, but Rob off the ice is somebody totally different. And you live the life on the ice, off the ice, and you'd be in jail. So it would be, but I always felt important. But I thought it was one of the greatest, you know, acknowledgments that, you know, you could receive. Yeah, there's trophies out there for being great players and all that kind of thing. That doesn't mean you're a good person.
Exactly.
You know, this one that you care, give back, and you know, I still try to as much as I can to this day. So it was a pretty important thing in my life. Yeah.
Man, congratulations. I really mean. Hey. Mr. Razor, Rob Ray the King,
Yeah,
Buffalo finest. Hey, all right. I heard a rumor about a fight in a parking lot, and you beat some guy up.
I,
They're one of the
I,
players.
I, one of the players.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I've never been.
I heard
I've never been a
it ended up he was
fight off
next,
the ice
next
with
to
my buddy.
Zamboni.
What?
He was next to a Zamboni or something, and it went out to the parking lot or something.
No, you know what? I think what you might be talking about is in Quebec as well. John Cordick. You remember John Cordick?
Yes, I
John
do.
passed
Yeah,
away with some bad issues and that, but he used to come out walking out of the Coliseum up through, and then the bus would be outside. And he was with some buddies, and he got all mounted, and we're going back and forth. And he literally took after me, and I was like, "Screw this!" And I just kind of jumped on the bus and
yeah.
not wanting to get involved. It was Quebec. Quebec City seemed to lead to a lot of bad things for me up there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, other than fighting your own teammates sometimes, Matt Barnaby, sometimes, in parking lots and in bars and things like that. But the only fight I ever got in off the ice was pretty much with my sister growing up.
Yeah. Hey, well, now the NHL lockout. I was a kid during this time, right? That was in 1994, October 1st, and it ended January 11th. You guys made the playoffs that year, and you guys did your thing. What was that like when the lockout was going out for the whole NHL?
Well, I've experienced that a few times, lockout, strike, and all that, and it's bad because the big thing is we're young guys, and we don't understand, or most of us at that time never understood what was really going on.
Yeah.
You're getting advice and that and opinions from a lot of different areas, and it was like for us, it's like just get it straightened out. We just want to play the game. We don't give a crap about everything else along with it. But it was hard. I think it was for guys. It sucked, but it was also a good experience, an eye opener on the whole what the game's all about in the business world and all that kind of thing. That it isn't just going and playing a kid's game. As a grown man, there's a business side to it, and I think it opened up a lot of guys' eyes there. And I'll tell you what, the kids this day and age should thank all of us for what we went through, and a lot of the guys that stood up to generate a players association, and we lost a ton of dough, just to get to where things are this day and age. And the guys now benefited from it. Unbelievable.
Literally.
And I hope they understand that, and I hope they are appreciative of what guys in the past went through to get them where they are today. Not in the game, but the financial side of it, because now it's fair. Back then it was fair. Now it's fair.
That's amazing. That's really now favorite teammate and favorite player to play against.
Oh gosh, I had a lot of great. Like I said, we grew up, a lot of us together, because Matt Barnaby and I always had a great time.
Yeah,
like that. Jay McKee. Some of the old guys, Dave Hannon. I look back that we had a ton of laughs. Donald Odette. It goes on and on. There was so many guys that you had fun with, grew up together, and it was. I think for me, looking back, that's the best part of it. Is those relationships you made. And there's still a lot of guys that live here. Like we have a ton of alumni that still live in town, and guys moving back in time. Rhett Warner and Eric Bolton just moved back here in the last year and make their home. So it's great that way. Playing against guys, there is always guys you love. You always love playing against the stars,
Okay,
I got to play against Gretzky, and I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm watching him. And I was like, I didn't even want to get on the ice. I just watch the guy. So, Mary Lemieux, all those kind of guys, it was just unbelievable to sit and watch them, what they did and how they played. And, it was just, it's truly amazing when you see there at that time, 650 guys in the NHL, the difference between the top guys and the bottom guys. It was almost like there was such a difference and of talent and knowledge of the game that it was just truly amazing. It opened your eyes. But there's always guys you like to play against too piss off and
Yeah.
fight and all that. Ty,
Yeah, it was fun to see the reactions.
guys you always like to get involved with and always made it exciting. But there was, yeah, I look forward to playing the big guys, like the superstars, more than those guys.
I mean, hey, you fought Ty Domi 13 times. That was amazing, man.
Yeah, Ty's got a hard head, man, but he's a good guy. I'm glad that, now that the game is over, I've got a good chance to get to know him, and super guy, and I got an awful lot of respect for him, and we did our thing over the years, and did what we had to do, and at no point did you ever really hate anybody. It was a job. You went out and did it, and
exactly
make it entertaining and fun, and it was for us, and we both got it. So I think that's how we kind of earn the respect for each other.
Congratulations. Hey, what's some remedies for swollen hands?
Beer.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, and it wasn't so bad the night of. It was the next day when you had to go to practice.
Sore as heck.
Yeah, I always played in the line with Dave Hannon when he was here, and Hanner, practiced the way he played. He played hard all the time, and he'd be zipping passes to you the next day, and you could hardly hang on to your stick, and your hands would be sore, and you'd be bobbling passes. He'd be yelling and screaming at you, and handle the puck, and I'm like, dude, I can't even hold on to my stick. Okay, can you? There was time, now that you get a little older, I think you pay a little more of a price for that. Now it's kind of, a little more pain and stiffness here once in a while.
Yeah.
And at the time when you're a young kid, you didn't care. You just let it rip, and now
100%.
you a little more.
Now, did you break your nose a bunch of times or any other bones like that? Is there any?
Broke my thumb, broke my jaw, knee surgery, torn bicep, broken ribs, all that kind of stuff, toes. Yeah, it just kind of came along with the game back then. But, most of the time you just played through it. You just,
always
zip it up,
sew
it up, and, back then the training staffs and medical wasn't quite the way they have this day and age. It was, here's a nice bed, aspirins, and I'll see you in the morning type thing. So you never get kids get. I think it's good now. They can finally, longevity for them is much better, and over the long haul, I think the attention they get is a lot better.
This is a question I always had that I never got to ask anybody, ever. And I've been working in hockey for a while, right? Now, I always wondered, do the refs or linesmen ever talk shit to the players?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I don't think it's as much now because there's so many of them. Like, there's so many refs and linesmen now. Back in the day, there wasn't. You seen the same guys all the time. And you had good respect for each other. And if you gave it to them, there was a better chance they were going to give it back to you. And a lot of them would give it back to you pretty good. Just, hey, screw you, instead of, taking it to heart and getting upset with you because you couldn't say anything to them. No, I think the communication back then was a lot more. Now you can't say anything to a ref. You get teed up and you're gone. Yeah. Back then you had a relationship with them. So you knew exactly what you could get away with, not to how far to push it. But, there's some guys that had good personalities as referees. Stewie, and that was, he was an old-time player himself, fighter. And, you'd get a fight and then he'd come over to you in the penalty box after and he goes, when you had him bent over there, you should have came with the uppercut and then came over with this. And, just things like that were unique to the game and brought personality to both sides. And I think it worked out really well then because it was at a time when, there was always stuff going on. And if you didn't respect the guy, the referee, or he didn't give it back to you, then, you were in a bad situation. So you tried to go out of your way to make sure you had that relationship with guys.
That's amazing, man. Thank you for giving me that right there. Hey, was there a favorite band that you listened to before the games and while you were growing up to influence you to have the energy you did?
Nah, you know what? Like I said, growing up, I didn't even have that stuff. I didn't have a way of whatever's on the local radio, that's pretty much all you got. And, even to this day, I just like old time classic rock. I don't like all the
some Jim Croce. He's the best.
Sometimes in the truck and he's got stuff playing on the radio. I'm like, what the hell is this, man? Like flipping over to the oldie station, and then he knows all the words. We sit in the truck type thing, So no, there wasn't. I was never in charge of the stereo. That was always somebody else that was always in charge of what was playing in the dressing room. And big thing, because that was a battle. Like when somebody left that was in charge of that radio or the stereo, and that player left or traded or something, it was a fight.
Whoever got that.
But back then, like now, it's all set up in rooms, stereos, everything. Back then, we didn't have that, and we literally had to buy our own stereo for the room. You had to buy your own TV for the room. So these guys do now. Back then, like we had, if we wanted it, we had to go buy it ourselves. So it was always, just kind of the classic rock stuff that was on in our rooms.
I love classic rock. Big shout out to Styx, REO Speedwagon, all those big bands. Def Leppard.
My son's team. Hey, well, they're 14 now, and they listen to like Ozzy Osbourne and now.
Nice.
To get themselves AC/DC, Ozzy.
Yeah. Okay. They turning up. You're teaching them right there, man. Yeah. Hey, the old school is the best ways, man. To me, I do like when I make my music, I put old school rappers in there because I'm trying to bring back the ways it was, traditional. So it's like, to me, that's the most important thing. Biggest fish you ever caught in your life?
Biggest fish.
I heard you're a big fisherman.
I caught a halibut in Alaska that was close to 400 pounds once. Got a couple sharks off Maine, that big blue sharks that were probably 300-400 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Catch one of those tuna. I see that show on TV. I want to go.
Oh my gosh, those big old things.
Yeah. That's what I love. But yeah, no, it was good growing up. Where I grew up, you could be to 50 different lakes in 50 miles. So, that's what you grew up doing, was fishing all the time. So it's right now, as you get older, it's fishing and hunting. That's your peacetime out there, and you just got a lot of things when I'm sitting out there,
Hey, I gotta go fishing this weekend, so I'm excited.
Have a cigar and just kind of relax.
Exactly. I'm in upstate. I'm in Syracuse, so we got a couple lakes out here. So
down there, then you're a good spot.
Yeah, man. Hey, is there a way that you beat butterflies? Like before the games or whatever, or if you're thinking in your head, is there a way that you ever beat, a way you found out how to beat that?
No, you know what? Like, you always get yourself so jacked up to play the game. And it's an emotional game that you've got to play with that, And for me, I always felt I had to play that way. So I never, if I wasn't excited and nervous and going into a game, then I was in a bad spot because, thinking, oh my God, I'm not worried about this, and I need to be worried about this. I got to get myself mentally in a spot. But I think as you get older too, you learn to control that emotion a little better and turn it on and off. And people say, oh, you can't just turn it on and off. Well, you can. Trust me. You can sit on that bench and sit there and nothing going on. Then all of a sudden something happens, and it's like, bang, the bell goes off, and you're like, let's go. And sometimes it's scary how quick you can flip that switch, but in a lot of times you just learn how to deal with it, and it was no big deal.
Real quick.
With it, I could sit there for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden, your name's called, and it's like, okay, let's go. But yeah, but there was days when you knew you had big games, like you didn't sleep for 2 days before, thinking about it.
Always. That's how it's before my shows.
I think if you don't have that, or when you lose that, it's time to walk away from the game, because that passion is on. If you don't have the passion, you can't play.
It's all about perfection, man. You're definitely right on that. Hey, your first and last game in the NHL, you got to go.
Yeah,
That to
first
me,
last shift.
that's I seen the goal. Like, oh, I'm cheering and everything. But I'm watching it yesterday and everything. I remember it when I was a kid, but like a teenager, I should say. But that has to be the best feeling. The first game, last game in the NHL,
Yeah.
you scored. That's beautiful.
Yeah, my first game, it was great. First shift, first shot, bang, you score. And then, it was just one you'll never forget. You can remember the whole thing. And then the last game was, when I was playing for Ottawa at the end, and it was in Toronto, Maple Leaf Gardens. And Jacques Martin, who was a coach, he hated me. I knew that. So I score, and I go back to the bench, and I never got another shift. And, and it was like, in the big picture, you're kind of pissed off. But on the other side, you were like, you know what, good way to end it, and it was no big deal, and you just kind of, walked away from it that way. But, yeah, you know what, for me, when I scored, it was a bonus.
That's beautiful, man.
It was something else, but, you look back now, and I coach my son and kids that are, 14 right now, and some of these kids are so skilled and so good at this age that you look, and Rep Warner and I look at each other sometimes going, I could never do that. We played in the NHL and go, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that. Oh, my God. That. So,
different game now.
So it's all comparative, and, it's all relevant that, you look at it and you go, you're just happy of what you accomplished, the opportunity you had. But yeah, it's always fun scoring, but it was never put a lot of emphasis on it. Thank God. The pressure of going to get in a fight here and there, no big deal. The pressure of going to score every night, I would have drove me nuts.
That's big pressure right there. That's a lot. That is insane. Yeah. Hey, I got two more questions for you, big brother. Two more, and the next one is I'm a hype man out here. I work for a bunch of teams or all over the United States. I work with these guys from Cicero, North Syracuse. They're called the Cicero North Stars. They're like in high school, amazing kids. Is there any advice you could give to them on, because you got drafted by the NHL. You did your thing in the NHL. You literally did. Any type of advice you could give the boys?
Well, my advice would be just have those dreams, man, and have a plan. And, I think that the thing kids need to know now is be careful what you're doing now, because it could affect you when they move on. Whether it's in the business world, whether it's in the sporting world, or whatever it is. I know we put a lot of emphasis on our kids here, the team we coach, the junior Sabres here, that, hey, be careful what you're putting online, because it's going to hang with you. I'll tell you just an example. Our kids they got invited to a college evaluation thing the other day, and you had to fill out the form, and they asked for your Twitter handles, Instagram, all that kind of thing, because they look at all that stuff. And any dumb stuff you put out there could come back and haunt you at some point.
Yes, and you're very right.
This day and age, the conditioning and all that, what the kids do, put in the extra, it's over the top, and they're prepared that way. They just have to make sure they don't do any dumb blunders along the way, that if they do get that chance to move on, that's not what, hey, I didn't get a chance to go play for this team because something dumb I did when I was, a teenager or a young kid, because you just don't get away from it. But, hey, I just prepare yourself. I always tell my son, I said, don't walk away from a game and go, I wish I had done more. I wish I had done, this. Don't walk away from it going, I should have, I could have, but I didn't. Leave it out there, man. Leave it out there every day. You're on the field, on the court, on the ice, whatever it may be. Because you just, in a lot of cases too, you just never know who's watching at any given time. True. For the opportunity, whether it's a high school, whether it's a college, whether it's whatever it may be, you just never know who's watching. And
you're right.
Practice every game. Do it like it's your last one, and just play hard.
I love it, man. Now, last question, last but not least. Rob Ray, I seen you fight in person, and it was the best feeling in life. I was in Syracuse. Syracuse Crunch was the first team that actually gave me a job, and then Hershey, and it was Hershey Bears. Big shout out to the Bears. They held it down for a brother. But seeing you play against Syracuse, fighting Brandon Sugden and a couple other guys, I gotta say, in person, that made me such a huge fan. Even though I lived here, I was a fan of you, and I will always be a fan. You have literally are the best. What was it like in the AHL fighting against Syracuse?
I hadn't played. I had retired, and I was
Yeah.
on TV here, and there was a break, and my wife and I were in the Barbados, and I got the call like 2 days before from John Muckler, and we're sitting on the beach, and he's like, "What kind of shape you in?" And I'm like, "Great." You know, he goes, "I need you here tomorrow," and I'm like, "Well, I haven't told him where I was, and he says, "Get here as soon as you can." So my wife and I fly home. I skated once when I got home that day.
Yeah.
I drove to Ottawa that night. I practiced with the team the next morning, and he looks at me and he goes, "Looks like you're ready to go." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I haven't skated. This is the second time I've been on the ice in 9 months." And he goes, "No,
Yeah.
I'm playing tonight with Binghamton in Syracuse." And I'm like, "What the?" You know, like, so we go to me and a couple at Franklin. I forget who it was that we got sent to Binghamton to play Syracuse in Syracuse that night. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is not what I expected. Like, very first shit, the Sugden guy comes up to me and he goes, "Are we good to go?" And I'm like, looking at huge, and I'm like, dude, I haven't skated 9 months. Can you give me like a period to warm up or something?
Yeah.
Stops, and he's like, "Nope." And here we are, we're in a fight. And I'm like, I was so tired and I was so out of shape. And I was like, whatever you do, don't go down. Well, I can't go down. I got to stay up. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
Fight's over. And Syracuse building was small.
It's very small. We have a small building.
I was feet from the penalty box. And I looked, once the refs broke us up, and I looked at the penalty box, and I'm like, it looked like it was 1,000 miles away from me. And I'm like, I don't know if I can make it over there. I'm dead tired.
Yeah.
I get over there. And the bad part about that whole night is we went back to Binghamton that night, and all the guys on the bus, they're all young guys asking a million questions, telling stories and that. And it was a good time. You know, it was like fun again. And they're like, "You got to come out. We're going out. We're going out." And I'm like, oh my God,
Hey.
I'm dying. And so you go to the local bar, wherever they all do. And I literally fell asleep in a chair in the corner at this bar because I was so tired, and it was a long ass few days there and the outfit, and it was good. It was good to get back into it, but you're right. He was a big son of a bitch, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going down here. I gotta."
I was just talking to Brandon not that long ago. He's a great guy.
Times in a row, that was draining. It was draining.
No, man. Literally watching you fight, it made me feel amazing because to me as a kid to teenager, right, to adult now, this is the most important thing in the game to me. You know, you have to stick up your teammates. If you put that rough stuff on and hit, the scorers aren't going to be able to want to shoot. You know what I mean? They're going to be afraid to shoot, you know? So what you guys did was it taught me how to, like, stick up for my friends in life. In school, like, you know, you got the bullies. You stick up for the nerds. You know why? Because you don't know what that nerd's going to be. But you don't think that at the time. But, you know, it's crazy.
The best thing was when we played that game and the guys that we had on our team, like Dale Howard, Chuck, and Mogilny, and LaFontaine, and these guys understood it, and they respected it. And the best thing is when, you know, say somebody was going after LaFontaine and you went out there and took care of it, and it got him off his back. You know, those guys were great because they understood it, and they'd come up to you after the game, "Hey, thanks for doing that. Thanks for doing that."
Yeah.
And that's all it really took, you know, because you got the respect of your teammate and you helped him out, and, you know, he was able to go do what he had to do. And I think that's the big thing that a lot of people, when they look at the fighting in the sport, they look down on it because they don't totally understand it, what it's all
about. Game.
And
yeah.
If you do, you have a little better respect for it. But I'll tell you what, the guys that we played with over the years respected it and understood it, and and that made it all worthwhile.
Man, I gotta say, this is literally a dream come true. Getting to share time with you, finding out the questions I always wanted to find out, man.
No problem.
Hey,
Anytime.
before I sign off, do you want to say hi to Sean McMorrow? I know he says he loves Rob Ray.
Yeah, no, Sean, I did his podcast with him one time, and never got I met him a couple times, but never got a chance to play with him. But Sean was one of those guys that, like I said, I respect him. He played the game, played it hard, did it right, and
He did.
I'm glad he's doing okay.
Big. What about my boy Johnny Morasti too? You like Johnny?
There's the guys out there that there's so many guys that you just kind of in our world, it was always somebody different. It was always somebody trying to take position to play that game. But I look back and all those guys, they did what they had to do. They did what they had to do to survive, and you respect them.
That's amazing, man. I really am appreciative for you because what you did for Buffalo is literally amazing. Ottawa, amazing. Binghamton, Rochester, amazing. Literally. And all the 3,207 penalty minutes. Come on. Who got the numbers like that, man?
You can't eat 3,207 penalty minutes. So it's, it's great, but, it's that stuff for me in the past. And, now it's move on to something else.
Yo, all right. One more thing. I know I said that was the last question. Can you give us a funny story or a crazy scrum story that no one knows about, say, during the NHL, AHL careers? Even in juniors. Anyone.
Well, one of the one that always sticks out with me, I was playing in Roch, and Scott Metcalf. I don't know if you remember Scotty Metcalf and Kevin.
Yeah.
And we lived together. We played as a line, and we played the same way, and we went at it. And we were in Halifax one night, and we were going home after the game. And Matter and I are in a fight right in front of their bench. We each got a guy, and we're going at them. And right in the middle of the fight, we're side by side going at it. Scotty Metcalf yells at me. He goes, "Razor, Razor," as he's fighting this guy. I'm like, "What? When we get home, we got to get milk, we got to get bread, and, said a couple other things." And the whole bench, you just look at them, and they were like, "What? What are you talking about?" Meanwhile, we each got a guy, and we're just hammering at each other, going at it. Scotty told me what we had to get for groceries when you got back home, the next day for the apartment. So, just stuff like that went on.
Thank you, Rob. King Rob Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, Buffalo Sabres finest, the king of the motherfucking hockey fights right here, man. I gotta say, you really did show the whole entire world the truth. And I thank you. That you are a king, a hero, everything. Big props, big shout out to you. Big blessings. Sean McMorrow said he's gonna be ready in 5 minutes. Hey, Sean's going on in 5.
I wish I had your energy. You must be young.
I'll give it to you. I got some Romanian energy. I got picked by Mother Teresa, so I think that's what gave me the energy. You know what I mean?
Send me a little of that.
I got you. Hey, when I go down to Buffalo for next game, I'm coming. I'm gonna give you the handshake, and you got the energy right there. It was a good. By the way, it was good seeing you in Buffalo. I seen my buddy Liam O'Brien play against Buffalo. He got me tickets, and he played for Arizona Coyotes. I came down there this year. That was cool seeing you, man. It was amazing, man.
Hey, it is what it is. So you just gotta appreciate it, and good luck to you.
I love you, bro. One love. Thank you. Big blessings to you, bro. You are a king, man. Razor. Big blessings. Thank you for coming on, man.
Anytime. You take care.
Man, big blessings. I'll see you soon, all right?
All right, buddy. There, man.
Have fun, man. Go catch some big fish this year. One love, man. One love. Oh, I'll try and get up. Oh, here we go. Let me see. How I get out of here? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Remove. All right, there we go. Everybody, give a round of applause for Rob Ray. The king. I was having some technical difficulties with my phone for a second. We have some more special guests today for the Hockey Fight Central today. You know what I mean? We got the sheriff, Sean McMorrow, coming in. We got Garrett Mitchell from Hershey Bears coming in. And Rockford, Icehogs, the captain. We might have another surprise guest. Who knows? I'm excited to do this, man. Hockey is the most important thing. You know, to me, I love it. It's the most energetic sport you could ever see. Let me get some more people up in here. Hold on one second. Let me get some people up in here. Hold on one second. Big shout out to Rob, man. I got nothing but love for Rob, and you know, it was so cool. Let me see these questions. Man, Razor was cool, wasn't he? Oh my gosh. I was so happy. Let's see who's up in here right now. What's up, Aaron? How you doing today, man? Nice to meet you, brother. I'm Christian L, man. Big ups, brother. Hope you're having a good day. All right, so we got Sean McMorrow, the king, coming on, ladies and gentlemen. We got the king, Sean McMorrow. We got King Garrett coming on. This is a big day. You know what I mean? I love hockey, so we got to give it up for the hockey fights. You know what I mean? Give it up to all our fighters. Everybody who did it perfectly out here. Let me just invite a couple more people up in here. Hold on one second. Let me get some more people. Let's see. Big shout out to Cicero, North Stars. I shouted you guys out. Y'all deserve the big ups. You know what I mean? It's a blessing. I'm glad that Mr. Ray gave me the time. That meant the world, you know, to see that. Might even have King Mike Roy come on. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I'm just waiting for Sean. Whenever Sean's ready, he's gonna pop up in here. Hit up Garrett real quick. Garrett. What up, Hayden? I just shouted you out, homie. Yeah, I just had Rob Ray on here from the Buffalo Sabres, man. I shouted y'all out, man. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Cicero North Stars, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna invite my homie up in here too. How you doing though, man? How's everything, Hayden? Make sure you watch this when I put it up, man. I shouted out Cicero North Stars, you know what I mean? So, all love, man. I got nothing but love. There's going to be a lot of information for you, bro, to, you know, get your hockey skills. Take that, get into the American Hockey League, you know what I mean, get into the NHL, you know what I mean? I believe in all you guys in the squad, man. All you guys is perfect, man. Let me see. Let me try to get... How's school going, man? You guys are turning up? Y'all have a good season? You come on if you want, man. I'll bring you on for a second if you want. Just hit the request button if you want to. I know you up in school right now. I'm just trying to get some other people on here real quick. Just taking a little pause. Big shout out to all the hockey fighters, though. You know, today is a hockey fighting day. All the hockey fighters. Are you in class right now? Big shout out to you, dog. You know, hey, King Garrett. King Garrett, you want to come in right now? You want to come in, big brother? Let's get King Garrett up in here right now, man. My brother from another. How you feeling, Garrett? Hey! Captain Garrett, the one and only, baby! How you doing, man? How's everything, Pippin? You been good? Yeah, I can hear you perfect. This is perfect right here, man. How's everything, man? It's so good to see you right now, man. It's been too long. Man, the king is in the house. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Man, I gotta say, you are one of the best brothers I've had. Whenever when we met, man, we came in like this, bro. You know what I mean? I met you because of Scotty Gomez and, and Coach Beaker, Big Tuna, and you was the captain. I'm like, oh!
Yeah,
Hey,
that
Sean,
goal
I'm
is
gonna
awesome.
I'll get you up here, Sean, like 10 minutes if that's okay, if you don't mind waiting.
Yeah, anytime, brother.
All right, so Garrett, the 6th round pick for the Washington Capitals, Garrett Mitchell. Hey! Man, what was it like before you got picked in the draft? Can you tell me about draft day, brother?
Yeah, I was playing in my hometown in Regina, Saskatchewan, which is pretty cool. And so I played 4 years in junior there, and then I was drafted by Washington. Yeah, and it's obviously now I'm 12 years into my career, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's been awesome, man.
You killing it for the Rockford Icehogs right now. So when you're saying Captain Garrett, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I miss going to all the practices and the games and putting my fist out in that class and hyping you guys up like, ah! I miss that shit. I ain't gonna lie, man.
We had Jimmy. Jimmy would come in and read our starting lineups.
Hey! I would kill it. You already know. I miss everybody. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man.
Yeah.
When you were in high school, did you think you would get as far as you got where you are right now?
No. I mean, as a kid growing up, I wanted to play in the NHL. You know, that was my dream. You know, but you know, obviously, once you get a little bit older and you start to realize that there's a lot of great hockey players, I was just, man, I played junior hockey, and for me, that was awesome. I was playing in my hometown. I was a hometown kid. You know, we grew up going to all the games. And so for me, that was like the pinnacle. And then, from that point on, I just kept kind of progressing and was able to be drafted by Washington. And, yeah, man, it's such a blur now that I'm 12 years into my career, and you know, I got a family now. Like, it's crazy. I came down to Hershey, Pennsylvania to start with as an 18-year-old kid, and you know, I still live here now, which is pretty cool.
Hey, I'm coming down there for one of them games soon. Y'all doing killing it in the playoffs right now. That means I'll be seeing you soon. I'm excited, man. Hey, I gotta say this right here. The fights I witnessed with you and Regina Pats, bro, you had this uppercuts, bang, you know what I mean? You will beat the crap. I love watching you fight, bro. Like, it's amazing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was it like playing for Regina Pats and fighting, you know, starting and, you know, doing your thing?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I was obviously, like, I was a young kid and just trying to figure it out, still going to high school and stuff. And then, yeah, man, I was just so fortunate. I was able to live at home with my parents and stay at the same high school. I never had to switch high school. So I got pretty lucky. You know, I think looking back on it, I took that for granted. I think, you know, I was able to keep all my buddies that I went to high school with and school with. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, I was at that point, I was living the dream. I was a 16-year-old kid living the dream, playing junior hockey. And, you know, I don't think I ever thought it would ever come out to be, you know, something like this.
That's what I'm talking about, man. The first game in the NHL, you had an amazing fight. Amazing fight, bro. I was like, oh, that's my boy on the TV. You know what I mean? I was going crazy, bro. I almost knocked the TV down.
Yeah,
that's how big you, my brother. What was that like, your first fight in the NHL?
Yeah, you know, I played my first NHL game. I was 26, 27 years old, which was pretty crazy. 26 maybe. And yeah, man, it was one of those things. I got super fortunate. My line mates were Ovechkin and Backstrom. I played on a pretty, you know, obviously a pretty great team. They went on to win the Stanley Cup the following year, and you know, just a great experience for me and my family and everybody else.
Man, that is gorgeous. That has to be the best feeling right there, bro. Now, you played in Slovakia, am I correct?
Yeah, I went over there.
What was that like for a year, bro?
Yeah.
How were the fans, the people, the games?
You know what? I loved it. I was over in Slovakia for a little bit. Had a great time. There's Gaisley. Where's Gaisley?
Hey, what's up, Gaisley? Yeah. We 2019-20, you played for the Laval Rockets. How did you like that?
Yeah, it was good. I was a quick little short stint there. I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be there that long, but it got me back in the American Hockey League that year. And then, man, from then on, I've spent the last 4 seasons in Rockford. We've kind of created a little bit of a home there, and it's been great. We've started to put together some pretty good teams over the last couple of years, so it's been a lot of fun.
First reaction of when you met me.
Oh man.
Let's go.
Well, my first reaction was man, this guy doesn't have any energy at all, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure.
I love it. I love it. Oh shit, man. Yeah.
You know.
Yo, good. Hey, what was it? What's it like being a captain, if you don't mind me asking? That has to be the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I think for me, I've just kind of created a spot. Obviously I'm older now in my career, but I had great leadership with, when I was a younger kid, coming through, my first few years in pro. And I just try to kind of take some of that I've learned from those guys. And I know that obviously for me, I'm on the back 9 of my my hockey career, but at the same time, I think I've still got.
Hey, you still going to Chicago? Hey, buddy, you going to Chicago soon? I'm on a gypsy telling you that. I'm marked. I'm a gypsy. You know what I mean? You going to Chicago soon? Hey,
yeah.
I have faith. Like literally, you are to see you, to know you, to watch you do what you do. It's phenomenal to call you a brother. Like literally.
I appreciate
what
that.
you did for me in Hershey. Oh my gosh, man! I lived in Syracuse and they couldn't even do what you guys did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was working for them, and you guys took me in as family, and y'all made sure that I was always perfect, and I was hyping up the boys, and I was signing up the squad. Like, hey! I love that, man. Yeah, it was good. Garrett's in the house. Garrett, your favorite music to listen to when you started, before you for Regina, and now?
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big
Before
country
games.
guy. I'm a big country guy. But before,
Ooh!
yeah, I love country music. I love the older stuff. But yeah, man, I'm like, I listen to anything. I love like the Big Booty remixes. They've got their Big Booties, so you get like a little bit of everything. You got. So yeah,
Yeah, the clapping going on. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah. Hey, what about this? I'll take you for a ride on my big green tractor. Now, I fuck with Brad Paisley and Vince Gill. For real.
Yeah.
I worked with a couple guys in the country industry. Amazing guys. Big shout out to Brantley Gilbert. You know what I mean? Big, cool dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta say, you are a king, man. So, did you ever have a favorite rapper growing up? Let me hear your favorite rapper.
Man, I was like a big 50 Cent guy when I was growing up. Yeah, but no, I honestly, I'll listen to anything. I'm not. I'll listen to anything. I was like, that was back when like Nelly was like, Nelly was wearing his
We the same age.
Like,
Yeah. Yo, we the same age, so we got the same type of music. Yeah. I love it, man. Hey, best advice for kids, teens, say like with butterflies, scoring, being in the locker room or on ice. Is there any advice you can give the kids or teens?
You know what? The biggest thing I always say, just enjoy it, have fun with it, because eventually it becomes a job. And if you can't have fun with it early, as you get going, you get sick of it, So that's something I've been pretty fortunate. My parents just kind of always allowed me to have fun with the game and just kind of enjoy it. I didn't have to ever, look at it as I was doing something I didn't want to do. And, it worked out for me.
That's amazing, man. That best fight that you love to fight in all hockey history. the best fighter or the person you fucked up the best?
Yeah, you know what? I've been on the backside of a lot of different fights, but you know what? For me, it's I try to go into them. You know, I'm not trying to go into a fight early in a game. I just kind of let it happen. Obviously, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I just kind of let it happen. Yeah, and so if it has to happen, I'm not afraid of it. But you know, I don't necessarily go out looking for it on a nightly basis.
Yeah, 100. Hey, you're the scorer. You're the dangler. You're the captain. But you know how to beat the crap out of somebody, and I love it. Bro, when you become friends with somebody, you watch their whole career. You watch everything they do. You know what I mean? Right after. And you literally, you're so happy for them. And I want to say I'm so proud of you for doing everything you done, bro. Like, every game you going to play, I'm going to watch every game. You, Liam, all the boys. Like, y'all literally made me feel like family. More than my adopted family made me feel. So, like, to anybody watching this, you don't have to be blood. You don't, fuck the color. You know, it literally, these guys, Garrett took me in and made sure I felt like little bro. You know, because I'm short as heck out here. But they took me in as family. And, man, if it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't know what family is truly about, and hockey is the best way for family. So I could say that, man. Out of any sport I've ever played, watched, anything, this is the #1 family sport, and I love it, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and it was something for us too, man. I'll never forget. I remember seeing you early in the morning at morning skate, and you gave me like a little amethyst stone.
Yeah.
And I still have it to this day, man. So it's one of those things that, you know. Like,
you still got it? You give me hype, man.
I got it.
Yo, I got to say, bro, I can't wait to see you, bro. I'm going to be down there in Hershey very soon just to watch a game. They just won last night, so I'm proud. I'm so happy. Beakers last year. Y'all get up to Coach Beaker.
That's great.
Well, I can't wait. And
yeah,
I'm just happy.
I appreciate you bringing me on. I appreciate jumping on with you. But anything you need, man, let me know.
Garrett, you gonna kill it. Chicago, Blackhawks, here it comes. Oh! Yeah, I love you, brother. One love. Have a great day. Big blessings, all right?
Hey.
Thank you for being here for me, man. One love, okay?
Yeah, you bet.
I'll see you soon.
All right, brother.
One love. Peace. That was Garrett Mitchell, baby. That was the king, Garrett Mitchell. Now here we go. The king, Mr. Sean McMorrow. Let's go, brother. Mr.
Woo!
You give me hype right now. Oh, look at that. The Silk is in town today. Hey, 3,791 penalty minutes. Oh, my Lord. That is a record right there. I don't know anybody who has more like that, man. How are you today, man?
I'm doing really good, buddy. I'm doing really good to be here with you right now.
Oh, you give me hype right now, man. You are kin to me.
We've supported each other for a long time, my dog, but this is our first show. This is our first recording, our first live. Right? So
yeah.
I feel very privileged. I feel very blessed, man. Look at the sun shining. Right?
Yeah, I love it, man. You give me hype. Everybody, Sean McMorrow.
Woo!
Hey, woo! Man, I gotta say, this is a true honor. Yo, bro, we do go way back. I want to say 2003 to 2004, I watched you play for the longest time, and I loved it. I watch you fight, bro. It made me feel so good, bro. There ain't nobody wanted to fight like that at that time. I'm like, oh, shoot. You coming to Turkey beating the crap out of everybody.
Hey, so because I'm a host too, I'm not gonna let you off easy, right? So
let's go.
I'm privileged to be here, right? I'm privileged to be here, but I got some questions for you, bro, because you are a star. You are a star. So now listen, I want all the listeners and viewers to get something a little clarified. So now we're going back about 20 years, right, my man? Okay.
Yes.
So now
yes.
I want you. Now I was listening to some of the shows before me.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about your history with hockey, brother.
Oh,
I want to hear more
oh
about
my
that.
God.
And then I'm going to tell you how I was able to get all those penalty minutes, bro.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. My history. All right. So it goes like this, man. I was adopted, came from Romania all the way to Syracuse. I was right here with the Crunch, right? Lived right next to the Syracuse Crunch.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Crunch, watching everybody fight, that's what started me at a young age. I wanted to be a hockey fighter. That it was either a hockey fighter or a musician. That was like my biggest goal in life. And,
So
you know,
I love it. I love it. So now the thing is now Syracuse. Syracuse is a very special place in the AHL. The arena is historic. Okay.
Yeah.
The team is always tough, right, brother?
Yeah.
The team is always tough. Like when I was in the league, it was super tough. When I left the league, and Morasti and Konopka and all those guys,
Yeah,
bro, they got even tougher. But let's talk about the early 2000s, bro. Let's talk about those penalty minutes. So now, when you saw me play for the Rochester Americans, okay?
Yes.
Now, the vision, the character behind it all, bro, was when I come to the rink, right? I want to be the guy that represents not only my teammates, I'm representing my team, but I'm representing my fans and my city.
Yes.
So
yes, you are.
Rochester against Syracuse was such a special thing, man. The cities are what, about an hour and a half away from each other.
Literally.
Okay,
Literally. Yeah.
Both old AHL teams, both historically tough.
Yeah.
So much pride involved, man. I'll tell you what. My first year, it was Trevor Ettinger. He was your guy. 6'4", 225, through lefts, through rights. Man, was he ever a warrior, bro? He was one of my toughest challenges that year, right? But then the next season, you guys bring in Brandon Sugar. Okay.
Yes, Sugar.
So now, let me tell you
Sugar.
Let me tell you about Sugar. Now,
yeah.
Sugar's 4 years older than me, right? But we were kind of the same time. Like we were rivals for 3 straight seasons. Then we were rivals in that notorious Quebec League, right? Right?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of history with Sugar. I have so much respect for this guy. Best technical fighter that I've ever fought.
Wow.
You could not, hey, Christian, I'm telling you, you could not make a mistake against Sugar. Because if you did, that right hand would hit the chin and it would be over, right? So when I would come into the War Memorial in Syracuse, okay, so the visiting arena was cold. They didn't make it very comfortable for the visiting teams, which is fair enough. That's what the best arenas entail, those characteristics, right? So then you get out in warm up, and the thing about Syracuse is that they had a lot of fans that would come to the arena just for warm up. So you would see what was kind of gonna happen, where the certain chirping, the guys riding the red line. Sugar knew that we were going every time. So it was just about showing each other that we were both ready, not showing any weaknesses. And then when we got out there together, it was on, bro. It was on, bro. Ready? I loved that time. I loved it how it was a time in hockey when the tough guy was still a really big role in the game. And you know what? So. If you had a reliable, consistent, tough guy, you were typically a better team because you needed to have all your roles at the top level, right? So it was very interesting, my friend.
Man, that would have been so... Bro, you took me back. I literally felt like I was a kid again, going back and watching you fight. I was all energy. I love it, man. I can always remember those games. Even going to Rochester, the Blue Cross Arena. Yeah. Big shout out there. I'd go out there, and it was amazing to see you fight there, and see you fight in Syracuse. I loved it, bro. And the LNHA, bro. That shit is crazy.
I know.
You did your thing in the LNHA, man.
Yeah, man. It was quite the experience. But one thing I wanted to point out is, like, see the passion that you have right now, bro.
Yeah.
See the excitement that you have, like the reminiscing. Like, you know what I mean? How it's like emotional. These are
Very much
all
so.
the things that I would feel when I was going out there. Like, I felt it from the crowd. I felt it from my fans. My teammates, right before they knew I was stepping out on the ice, they'd be like, come on, Mac, go get him, Mac. So I'm telling you, when I say that I feel that I represent everybody, buddy, I'm representing you. Your passion, you're like a supporter just like you is like the typical thing that I'm thinking about when I go out to battle, bro. That's when I'm
you give me hype right now.
Yeah,
Keep going.
And you know what? You just had some legendary people on. You had Mr. Rob Ray on. And listening to those kind of stories, man, I got to give you a lot of credit, bro. You were on absolute fire today, my friend.
Thank you so much. Ah, man, keep going. It means the world hearing it from you, man. Because I gotta say, I watched all your fights, bro. From the Pickering Panthers all the way down to like the LNHA. I love it. What was it like your first year in 1998? If you don't mind me asking.
Okay, so it's interesting that you asked me about that year because that was actually the first year, brother, that I actually took on the role. So
really?
Oh, yeah, bro. You have to understand. So Pickering Panthers, that's the season before the OHL. So that was my 16-year-old season. So I'm 16 years old, okay? Now, I'm used to playing with players my own age all the way growing up, the 1982 age group. So now I'm 16, and I'm in a league that's 16 to 21 now, right? Just like the OHL. So my coaches knew that I was a big guy. I was a big stay-at-home defenseman at the time. And the role was open. There was no one that was like the guy. So now me as a rookie, they gave me that opportunity. They told me, they said, Sean, we're looking for someone to step up. If you think that you can do that, you can show us, and the job could potentially be yours. So here I am, a 16-year-old, very confident at the time, brother. Okay, because I'm a rookie playing with men now, right? Very confident at the time. I think I'm the toughest kid in the world. So now I go out and try this the next game, right? I do very well, right? So I was 1-0. The next game I tried it again, brother. I was 2-0. The next game I tried it again. I was 3-0. You see the pattern. There's a pattern. So what I'm trying to say is I found something that I was very successful at. I always knew that I kind of had it in me, but I'd never kind of released the beast. But at this time, I was given the opportunity. I embraced it. And I knew that if I was going to make it to the next level, that I would have to do this role. So I took it on. And from that point on, from the Pickering Panthers, I was known as an enforcer. And at that time, I was still a defenseman. Okay? So man, my life has changed a lot from that point because from now on, that was now included in my game. And
that's amazing.
You can't really take nights off, right? Like you can't do that because
no nights off.
Yeah, because if you take a night off, the result is going to sleep. So
exactly.
Bro, I have to point out one thing, bro. I'm absolutely loving that hat.
Oh, you like the heat? Thank you, man.
I like the hat, man. I like the hat. I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan.
Hey!
My brother Liam McMorrow, aka the Mayor, he actually got a D1 scholarship to Marquette University the same year of Jimmy Butler's freshman year. Okay.
Really?
So, yeah. So my brother was a 10-year pro. Never made it to the NBA, but played in the G League, played in the NBA summer leagues, and had an incredible experience overseas, China, everywhere where he could make money playing basketball and living out his passion, right? So
that's amazing.
Liam might be one of your next guests, but
let's go, Liam.
Him and Jimmy Butler, though, the first day they arrived on campus, they had to put their pocket change together to get a 6-inch sub from Subway. Right?
Really?
And now Jimmy Butler is on a max contract. And
that is huge.
I talked to Liam. I'm like, hey, you talked to Jimmy lately? He's like, yeah, he actually invited me down to Miami to watch the playoffs and stuff. I think I might go. So it's really cool to see how people grow and develop. And man, like there's a couple, like Wesley Matthews, Jimmy Butler. Yeah. There's a few guys that my brother had the opportunity to play with that are now in the NBA. So, yeah, man.
God.
It's some cool stuff, man.
I just came back from Miami. I was living down there. I'm going back soon. I can't wait. It's amazing. I'm back here in New York now. So it's cool to come back home always, you know. It's the best feeling.
Yeah, brother. But remember, wherever you go, if you keep this same energy, bro, you'll always be surrounded with positive light. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Like I'm feeling it from you, bro. It's coming through the phone.
Hey!
Bro, it's really good vibes, bro.
You give me hype right now, Stone. You give me hype, King.
Mr. Rob Ray didn't say something like this, bro, because it's like a warming. It's like I'm in a sauna.
Hey! Yeah, I love you, man. You really get me hype, man. So Arena Sting, how was that in 1999?
In 1999? Sarnia, yeah. So Sarnia was the team that I was drafted to in the OHL. So, I mean, at that time, bro, like again, I had a lot of confidence. I was a pretty high pick. Like, I was a second-round pick. I went 33rd overall, right? There's 20.
Yeah, you hear that? Yeah.
So I was kind of like the middle of the second round, which is, you know, it's pretty good. So, I mean, I was very proud of it, man. I had my whole family at the draft. At that time, they would do it like the NHL style drafts, where it was at the arena. The player gets called down, puts on the jersey, you know, takes the picture with the owners. And the coach. So, but now they changed it to like an internet draft, right? But back when I was there, it was the real deal. So I got to experience that. It was really cool. Went to Sarnia. Went from living in Scarborough in an eastern suburb of Toronto, which is one of the most multicultural places in the world.
That's amazing.
To Sarnia, Ontario, which is a town of about 40,000 people. I was in grade 12 because I was 17 years old. That's the regular rookie age for the OHL. Yeah. And so I had to go to school in Sarnia. I had to live with a family that I'd never met before that had two daughters and one son. It was an incredible experience.
Food got good too, huh?
They're called I mean, down where you are, I mean, when players play for teams that are out of town, I mean, I'm sure they get billeted as well. In the OHL, they call them land parents, right? Billets.
Wow,
and,
that's beautiful.
You know, these families sign up because they're interested. They want to help out the team. Now, they do get monetary stuff from the team, like for groceries and all that kind of stuff. But it's really the families kind of wanting to be a part of the organization. The teams don't compensate them for everything that they're doing. They want to do it, right? So it's families that are hockey like crazy. They want to be involved. They're probably like big fans of the team. They've been following the team for a while. So it's good vibes. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes players will switch billets. Like, it can't always work out perfect. You know, you got a bunch of 17, 19-year-olds living with families they've never met before, right? So I was pretty lucky. I had some really good billets through my time in the OHL. And of course, you know, your living situation is one of the most important parts because, you know, look good, feel good, play good, like they say, right?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, bro.
You doing your thing?
Yeah, man.
First year in AHL, what was the feeling like for you when you stepped foot into the Rock?
Yeah, bro.
And I think that was, what, 2002, I want to say, right?
2002, 2003, that was the first year. That was the season. So like, let's say October 2002 would have been the opening game. At Blue Cross Arena. I don't know if you remember the legend. Sorry, I'm cutting myself out here. I don't know if you remember the legend Robbie Skurlak from the Albany River Rats. Wow! That big Rob Skurlak, right? He was number 9, left shot, the biggest. Like, see my head? This is my head.
Yeah.
His head was like this. His head was like this big. This was Skurlak's head. Right. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, brother, Blue Cross Arena, October 2002.
Yeah.
Friday night, Rochester, New York, the ROC.
Hey.
Right? No, check it out. So now I would say 3 minutes into the game, it was after the first goal. McMorrow gets the tap. His first shift in the American Hockey League.
Let's go.
He skates out to the right because I was a right winger now. To the right ring. It's a face-off. He's faced off against Rob Skurlak. They're looking at each other. Rob Skurlak says something to him. Here's the
Yeah.
insight. Do you want to know what Rob Skurlak said to
I
me?
love that,
Now,
please. Sure.
Now, I know there's kids that watch this, but it's mostly adults, right? So
Yeah.
Rob Skurlak says to Sean McMorrow in his first pro shift, "You want to pop your cherry, kid?" That's what he said, bro. That's what he said.
Like that.
"You want to pop your cherry?" I said, so McMorrow's answer was, "Yes, Mr. Skurlak," right? Because, you know, I look up to him, right? He's a big-time veteran, right? So we go right off the draw. As soon as the pucks drop, we go boom, 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 toe-to-toe. I got my mom. I got my little brother. Liam was at the game that night.
Liam!
My mom and Liam came that night. And, you know, so the fight went well. My agent was happy. I don't think I, like, you know what I mean? I think it was kind of like a draw, but it was good because I was a rookie. He was a vet, you know what I mean? He was a top heavyweight in the league. So within 5 seconds of my career, I had 5 minutes for fighting. And that kind of helped me lead the AHL in fights that year. Which I'm very proud of. 41 fighting majors my rookie year in the AHL and the league. But now the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I believe that the Buffalo Sabres rewarded me with that hard work, and that's why I got that regular season game for Buffalo that year, which was March 22nd. March 22nd.
That was amazing.
2003, right? So that same year. Yeah, that same year, bro. I think they rewarded me. There was a game in Toronto. There was a little bit of drama before that game. Yeah. Your first guest today, Mr. Rob Ray, he had just got traded to the Ottawa Senators. It was that year. So Razor gets traded to Ottawa. Okay. And it's only Eric Bolton there. And I'll tell you a funny story. I don't know if Razor told this story when he was talking to you, but the game was in Buffalo. Toronto was in Buffalo. And there was a scrum. So now the lines weren't like equal. It was like a second line against the fourth line. It was like, you know, one of those times where it was like just, you know, like it wasn't matched up. So I don't know if you remember the player. His last name was Ponikarovsky. He was this European small winger for Toronto, kind of a goal scorer. Didn't last that long, but he was there for a couple of years. Ponikarovsky's in the scrum. Razor tries to send a message, just grabs Ponikarovsky out of the scrum, and just fucking boom, boom, Ponikarovsky goes down. So the whole Leaf bench is going nuts. They're screaming at Razor. Razor's just like, screw you guys. This is my house, right? And so then, but then Razor gets traded to Ottawa a couple of days later, and now Buffalo's going into Toronto. Now this was right before the playoffs. It was in March. We didn't have a playoff spot, Buffalo. That's why we traded Razor to Ottawa to give him a chance, to give him a Stanley Cup run, right? Yes. And Toronto did have a spot in the playoffs. So, you know, sometimes they're like, you know, we're in the playoffs. They're not. Nothing stupid tonight. You'll hear stuff like that, right? So now, of course, my first game, obviously, I want to get on the score sheet, man, which for me would be the penalty minute sheet. Yeah. Right? So I line up against Ty Domi. Okay? Yeah. I line up against Ty Domi. Let me tell you what happened with that. Yeah. So I say to Ty, I'm like, Ty, man, I've been watching you my whole life, bro. Please give me a shot. This is my hometown, man. I just got called up. So the guy, I shouldn't have said all that information. He probably already knew, but his response was, and you got to remember the character of Ty Domi, very animated. Right? Yeah. So and I know you've seen him do that. What I'm about to do now. So he goes, kid, you got to make the team from the start of the year to fight a guy like me. All right. So like, you know what? I would probably say something like that to a rookie that called up to the AHL from the coast. You know what I mean? Veterans can say that to rookies, like, kid, you gotta climb the mountain before you come to the king. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, and here I am, I'm 21-year-old rookie. So I understood. I was upset that he didn't, like, you know, but I was like, okay, yeah, I'd say the same thing if I was him. So anyway, so I got about, I don't know, man, 4 or 5 shifts, couple body checks. I touched the puck a couple times, couple breakout passes, you know. Yeah. I was very content. I had 25 family members at the game, bro, and it was wild. Yeah. It was absolutely wild. But I'll tell you what, the lucky thing for me is that I got to play a bunch of preseason NHL games too, and because I was with Buffalo and Toronto was in the same division, we'd always get to play Toronto. So I got to play in the Toronto Arena, which at the time was the Air Canada Centre, now the Scotiabank Arena. Preseason games too. So I got to fight once because I know this is like we're talking about fighting as a topic in these shows. So Nathan Parrott, who's my good buddy now. I've had him on my show twice, live at Bottom Line on Zoom. Me and him squared off at the Air Canada Centre in 2005, or it was probably still 2005 2006 season. So it was 2005. Man, this is a long time ago. But I got to fight against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which was a dream of mine. But bro, I know this is about exciting, funny stories, bro. So I know I'm talking a lot, but because we're talking about the whole Toronto and Buffalo thing, one of those preseason years was when they introduced the shootout after a tie. Okay, so this was a while ago. It used to just be, there was no shootouts, man. It was just overtime and then a tie. So what they wanted to do was it wouldn't matter the score of the game. It could be 5-1, it could be 3-2, but at the end of the game, they would do 3 shooters aside just to get the fans in the preseason used to the shootout. So we're in Toronto. This is the same game that I fought Parrott. We're in Toronto. The game's over. I think we lost like 3-1 or something. So now they're going to do this like pretend shootout. So Lindy Ruff was the coach, the guy that's the coach of the Devils, okay? Lindy. So
he's the man.
So Lindy calls out the 3 shooters, right? And Lindy's like, he's like Drury, Afinogenov, McMorrow. So bro, I hear my name. This is shootout in an NHL game. I hear my name. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right. The guys are like, they're bumping me, being like, Mac, you're gonna shoot, man. So I was the 3rd shooter in the Air Canada Centre. 19,000 people. It's packed. You know who the goalie was? The goalie was
who was the goalie?
Ed Belfour.
Oh my gosh, that's huge!
Toronto, when the Eddie Eagle was in Toronto, that was that year. So, bro, I'm thinking, okay, man. Like, now you have to understand. Like, I've been skating with any, like I'm feeling good. I've been practicing every day. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm feeling good, but I'm not a skilled player in the NHL. I'm a role player, right? So I'm like, don't try to get too fancy. Don't get too many crossovers. Whatever you do, don't trip over the blue line because that would be a sports blooper, viral video for decades, right? So I'm thinking all this in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I get the puck and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to deke because then I might lose the puck. I have a decent shot because I'm strong, right? So I know how to snap it, right? And like that's the one thing. When I played with all those skilled guys in Rochester, Buffalo, Afinogenov, Thomas Vanek, Jason Pominville, all these guys, they'd be like, Mac, you got a good shot, man. You got a pretty hard shot. I'd be like, yeah, thanks, bro. You know what I mean? So I knew that my shot was at least average. Was good. At least average, right? So exactly. You know what? I got to shoot. So I get to the hash marks, friggin' do a little fake, fire the puck. What happens, bro? Bing! Right off the crossbar. No, off the crossbar. No goal. Damn. Off the crossbar and out. Okay.
Not fire that you hit the bottom.
Now I was very content with this outcome because I'm like,
that's huge.
I made it look normal. I didn't make any mistakes. I shot the puck. Bro, in my opinion, I had Ed Belfour beat. He went for it. He missed it.
You got him.
Centimeter lower, it would have bing in the net. Imagine that. Imagine that video of the sheriff scoring on Ed Belfour. It was very close. It never happened. But this exclusive story I had to tell on your Instagram Live, my friend.
Not you, man. King Sean McMorrow! That's huge. That is huge right there. I mean that because that's got me hype over here right now.
What it is, bro, is like I've realized that these little stories and stuff, us as hockey people, this is the stuff that we're interested. We're not really interested in just looking at just the pure stats and what was it like to score 20 goals in 1994. You know what I mean? We want to talk about like uncomfortable things that happen to us, extremely exciting stuff that happened to us.
Exactly.
Like things like that. You know what I mean? And that's why your show today is the best, bro.
Hey! I love you, Sean. King Sean McMorrow! Hey, let me get, have you ever had a crazy incident where the locker room after the game or before the game, where the two teams or players got together or talk crap or anything close to that?
Yeah, I mean, when we would play, like, I remember we're going to bring up Syracuse again, okay?
Yeah.
I remember there was the one year, now in the AHL, they don't really cross over, like, in the teams in the conferences. You play the same teams over and over
All
again. So because Rochester and Syracuse were so close, we played each other 12 times during the regular season. 12 times, okay? Then we got these wonderful gentlemen in the first round of the playoffs, and that was 7 games. So 19 games against the same team. You can start to develop a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of hatred. Some guys on that team are going to start getting very annoying, man, and you're going to want to kill them. Sometimes when the buses come in, you gotta cross paths in the hallway. Maybe you might give a little shoulder, you know. Stuff like that happen, bro. So we'd be coming in. We'd be coming in to the game. Let's say it was a home game in Rochester. Syracuse bus pulls up. They got to come in the main entrances, which is close to our dressing room. So they have to pass our dressing room with their bags, you know, in their tracksuits or whatever, because they're on the road and they're walking by. Guys in the hallway are taping their sticks, you know, doing this, doing that, depending on what time you got to the rink, right?
Yeah.
So there was an evening where there was an altercation. Like I said, like there was, in passing, somebody kind of like threw out a shoulder, right, and did a little bump, and then there was yo, what the F is that? Yo, what are you looking at? Yo, and then some pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coaches and trainers kind of get involved, and then it kind of like sparked up again, like right before warm up, and then in warm up, everyone's at the red line, pushing and shoving. In the game. I think there was probably about 5 or 6 majors in that game. It was pretty wild, man. But yeah, so it's man, it's pretty cool stuff, and yeah, bro, it's really cool to reminisce about this type of stuff as well, man.
Man, I appreciate this, man. Who was the one guy, if you had a pick, that you know you're going to beat the shit out of, but who was the one guy that you did not like the fight because he, is there anyone like that?
Yeah, bro, they're definitely, like, when you enter this type of business, you know, you're agreeing to be interacting with monsters. Real life monsters. Guys that are abnormally big. Guys that have abnormally big hands and heads, and in ancient times they probably would have been barbarians fighting with with spiked balls and stuff, like, you know what I mean? So anyways,
thank you.
We were talking about the Notorious League in Quebec, and one reason why I'm able to praise my boy Derek Parker, the Lion. Derek Parker. I'm able to praise this guy. The man's only a year younger than me. He's still going strong. The reason why I'm bringing all this up is because there's another gentleman, the LNAH, one of the top fighters in the league. His name is Dave Hamel. Now, I
heard about him.
Now, Dave Hamel was originally a goalie. The man got so big and tough that, you know, he just thought he'd try out to be a fighter in the LNAH, right? And he did become a tough guy. He got better and better every year. And the thing with Hamel is that the man just kept getting bigger and stronger and better as a fighter every year. So when I made my comeback in 2020, right before COVID, 2019, and then 2020 in March, they shut the league down. So I played about 12 games. 3 of them were against Rivière de Loup, which was Dave Hamel. And obviously I'm the number 1 for my team, so I have to go against this guy. Now, I'll fight anyone at any time, but what the real fighters know is it's all about preparation and what kind of shape you're in. So I've been in really good prepared spots, and I haven't. I believe I wasn't prepared to take on a monster like that. Obviously, I'm going to do it no matter what. I believe I can beat anybody. Anybody can beat anybody. And so yeah, I had a really hard time with that guy. Like, I didn't, like I didn't get hurt or anything, but if I don't win, if I don't hands down win a battle, I'm not content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, that's a competitive.
exactly. You have to do something again,
right? But now back to the Lion, Derek Parker. So now this guy works for CN in Montreal. He's not even playing during the season. Laval calls him for like the end of the year in the playoffs.
Laval Rocket,
right? No. Well, the
Rocket.
The Rocket de Laval. Okay. The Rocket de Laval is there, and they're the Montreal Canadiens farm team. But this is the Laval Petrolier de la Nord, which is the NH team, right? That plays in the House of Pain, right? So they play in the House of Pain, and so the Lion, Derek Parker, from not regularly playing, can just step in and can actually win a fight against Dave Hamel, the absolute monster of the league. That's why, man. I like Parks. If you hear this interview, bro, I got to give you another shout out, man. I give you so much credit. I've watched everything that's happened this year, bro. I cannot believe you're able to do what you do. Hats off to you, buddy. If I had a hat.
Big up.
But to answer your question, there was a situation with Dave Hamel. You know what I mean? Never say never. I hope I get another shot at him. Maybe he'll be in the boxing ring because I'm going to start boxing now, bro. That was going to be my announcement. Beautiful. Oh, I'm signed up with my trainer. The sheriff is entering the ring. Sheriff Boxer is live and direct right now. The beginning is now, man. Sheriff Boxer, okay? There's the sheriff broadcast. There's sheriff referee. There's sheriff coach, and now there's sheriff boxer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They ain't ready for it, man. You're gonna be knocking people out like you always do, man. I love it.
I love how you give me confidence.
Yo, man. Anytime you need hypeness out, hit me up. If it's before a game, whatever, I'll hype you up for the whole day, whole night, whatever you need. I got you, man.
So,
that's my favorite thing to do.
I really hope that you're able to save everything that you've done today. I hope that you're able to release it as a post, because I'm telling you, you did such a good job. I watched the Ranger thing. I watched your boys before me. You did so good today. You're gonna.
Thank you so much.
People need to see this, man. You deserve a lot of credit. You're a very good host.
Thank you, man.
Good host, my friend. You're a great dude, man, and you need to continue to do this, bro, because you make people smile, you make people happy, and that's what it's all about.
Man, you are a true hero, a true inspiration to me. I'm so blessed. I'm going to tell the world right now. I didn't say nothing yet, but I'm going to tell the world right now. I got the first hockey fight song coming out to the world, and guess who's in it? My brother right there, Sean McMorrow! Yeah, coming out soon. The world going to see it.
I can't wait to hear it, bro. I'll share it everywhere, man.
Oh, man. It's all about what you did. And you literally gave me inspiration as a kid. When we met, you gave me inspiration. Now, back then, whenever, I'm so appreciative for what you've done. If there's anybody who deserves that,
it's a two-way street. Man,
I'm so blessed.
I was doing it for you, man. I was doing it for
you. Give me hype right now.
I say I represent my team, my city, and my fans. I'm telling you, man. That was you.
No, man.
That was you.
You're gonna the wings in my back are starting to fly again.
But that's how I was able to do it. It was the power of everyone behind me, bro. That's the only way I was able to do it, man. I'm telling you.
That's beautiful.
So I appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, how about remedies for swollen hands?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. I cut my thumb the other day working. But remedies for swollen hands, I mean, honestly, like the one secret. Well, I'm blessed to be able to have a nurse as a mom. And so
that's beautiful.
She 40 years as a nurse. She's into all the different things and paraffin wax. Paraffin wax. I don't know if you ever heard it. People use it to soften their skin, but you dip your hand in hot wax, take it out, dip it in, and then there's coats that come on your hand. And what it does is it reduces the inflammation. It reduces all the calluses in your hand, and it kind of repairs it. When I was playing in the AHL, I had a paraffin wax machine in a couple different rooms, and then I kind of got away from it. But if people have problems with their hands and they're trying to find a solution, Google paraffin wax for the hand. You can do it for your feet too, but check it out. It might work for you.
That's amazing. That's really amazing right there, man. Now, So I got a question. And you played for the Rockford Icehogs too, right?
Oh man, one of my favorite seasons. Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, bro.
What was that like, man?
Oh, man, I don't know if we have time to get into the Chicago organization with the gift that they were just given from God winning
Yes!
the NHL lottery. Buddy,
Yeah!
I cannot believe that Connor Bedard will be a Chicago Blackhawk next
Come on!
season. Can you believe? Buddy,
That's huge!
Kane and Taze just left.
It's
And
about to be
then
over!
perfectly, oh, well, these superstars are going to go for, they've been our stars for 15 years. Now we're going to bring in the best player, potentially of all time, for the next 15 years. Isn't that just lovely?
That's huge!
You know what?
That is huge
It
right
might
there.
as well be Chicago. Chicago is a powerhouse in the NHL. Everybody loves Chicago. When Chicago and New York and these teams do well, the league does well. And,
Very much so.
you know, I loved being a part of that organization. When I played for Rockford, you know, I was very, very close to getting called up a couple of times. David Koshy was the guy up there, and then I was the guy in Rockford.
Yes.
And yeah, man, I'm happy for the organization as a whole. And I know that they went through some hard stuff with that bad press that they had with that video coach and that player with the abuse. So I'm really happy for the organization that they're able to get this incredible news. I heard that they sold $250,000 worth of tickets within 20 minutes of that lottery draft. Everybody knows what's happening here. He potentially could be better than Wayne Gretzky, Mary Lemieux, Connor, McDavid. This guy's broken all the records, man. So he's on pace to do that. He just has to stay healthy and be around a good group, man. And we're going to see things that we've never seen before. So I'm very excited, man. Very excited. And the only thing that a guy like that Connor Bedard, the only way that he could surprise anybody would be after he scores a hat trick in his first game, the next person that goes near him, he just drops the mitts and pumps them so he could tell the league, no mess with the best player. It would be like Gordie Howe. I'll elbow you in the face if you come close to me, man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they're not allowing the tough guys anymore, so they might as well allow the stars to be a little bit dirty.
That's what I'm saying. I wish. Do you think there would ever be old-time hockey again, Sean? To me, it deserves to come back.
I have some ideas. Right now, I have a vision of getting back to the NHL in a different sense, like maybe as a referee, maybe as a coach. Okay. Yeah. Now, as I'm working towards the school, I'm also doing team mentoring, and I'm trying to enter programs where the NHL will kind of sponsor it, type of thing. And what I do is I talk to travel teams, the AAA teams, and I go in there, talk to them for about 30 minutes before practice, and then I come on the ice with them for about 30 minutes just to add some legitimacy to the mentorship. So now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because I'm trying to build it, obviously. So the more people hear it, the better it'll become. But also, as I'm going towards this, I want to work with the NHL. I have some really good ideas. I'm a former player. I have records in the AHL for most fights in a season as a rookie. Yes. I understand the way the game works with the rule. I have a way to make it safer. I have a way to make the public more comfortable with it if they knew that the players were being supported. Just a quick little fact here. The majority of the years that I played hockey, fighting was still a part of the game. So now in the NHL, most teams had 2 players on their roster. Let's take Buffalo as an example. They always did. Sometimes they had 3. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, my brother. So if there was 2 tough guys on every team from like the 80s till the mid 2000s, like 2010, let's say, then there's 2 goalies on every team. There was a goalie coach. There was a face-off coach. There was a special teams coach. There was an athletic therapist coach. Sometimes there was a psychologist coach. There was all these coaches, assistant coaches, video coaches. How come there was no tough guy coach? How come there was no coaches for the players that sold the most tickets, that supported the team the most, that had the most blood, sweat, and tears, that sacrificed their bodies the most? There was nothing for us. There was absolutely nothing. Right. We were signed to professional teams because we were known to be tough men, and we were thrown out to the wolves, bro. What
Yeah.
would be wrong? What would be wrong with implementing a rule where, as soon as a player hits the 5 majors mark, he now qualifies for a different type of insurance because he's putting his body more on the risk of others?
Yeah.
What would be
Yeah.
so bizarre about the fact that they do mandatory visors, which is a big deal for players? It's a change of equipment. Now,
Yeah.
we have elbow pads, we have all these different things. We have, some guys roll up their sleeves around their elbow pads.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these different styles. I've been involved with prize fighting on ice. I was involved in a tournament in 2010 in Finland called Ice Warriors. I also hosted another organization called Ice Wars last year, where it's the hockey fighting on ice. Now, we use UFC gloves for this.
Yeah.
Okay? Which protects our hands, okay? It protects our hands and from our wrist breaking because it's taped. What would be so bizarre about having the gloves for the players that engage in this type of activity, having it kind of attached to the elbow pad, and within one flip, they could have those gloves on and have a combat that's completely insured, where they have a coach, where, let's say, halfway through the season, there was a player that was fighting all the time and it just wasn't for him. There'd be someone to say, look, this guy's not doing well. He's not acting normal. I think that we got to trade him, or we got to send him to see a specialist. Whatever the case, there was no protection for the players, man.
There was none.
And I believe that there could be things that could be implemented where like I said, the public would be confident that, you know what, these professional players are safe. They're getting advantages done for their team. They're changing the momentum. They're keeping their hands safe. They're learning how to fall to protect themselves. They're learning how to hold their hands so they don't break them. There's ways that we can make the game more exciting. Now, can you imagine a game in the southern U.S. where there was a game that was promoted around the two tough guys? There's a heated rivalry. Everybody's safe. Everybody's insured. And we just want some good old-time hockey to come back that's safe and insured because it's 2023. There's a lot of things that we can do, Christian. There's lots of things that we can do.
You're doing it.
And
God
I'm
bless
telling
you.
you, if I get an opportunity in a boardroom to sit down with the NHL, Gary Bettman made a lot of mistakes, man, but he can really make up for it. And he can really get the grassroots of hockey back again. He can get those ratings in the U.S. back up again. He can do all this.
That's what we need.
We are really low in the top 4.
Yes.
The other sports are way ahead of us. Why is that? Because they have ideas. They spice up their stuff. You know what I mean? We're still the old boys club with hockey, man. We need to get some new ideas, some new voices in there. And bro, I'm willing to work with anybody to give my ideas to make this game more exciting and to grow it into different demographics. We got to grow it into different demographics, my friend. So
honestly, I'm gonna tell Washington and Hershey right after this. Show them this.
Yeah,
listen, we need this.
I mean, there's a lot of topics we've talked about here. I hope that we have some more future shows. There's lots of good content to talk about, my friend.
Definitely, man. And right before I let you go, I got a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like playing for Belfast Giants? I gotta know about this.
Man,
I gotta know about Belfast Giants.
About the Belfast Giants.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is the best way for me to describe playing for the Belfast Giants. So, this is a team that is based on pride. It's based on bringing communities together. It's a lot of people don't know this, but Northern Ireland is its own country, and it's the northern tip of the Republic of Ireland, and there's still an ongoing, which you can still say, war that is happening in that region.
Yes.
They call it the Troubles, and the Belfast Giants, which is a new sport, is used by the British government to bring the communities together. So now someone would say, well, how do they do that? Well, because it's a new sport and it's all based on being neutral, because they wanted to solve the troubles in Belfast. They knew that a team could bring the communities together.
Yes.
All the colors are neutral. The logo of the Belfast Giant is Mr. Finnegan McCool, who is a historic giant that the northern tip of Ireland, Portrush, has incredible big rocks where the novelty is is that the Giants from Ireland, led
Yeah.
by Finn McCool,
I heard about that.
would walk from rock to rock over the sea and
Yeah.
would fight off the Scottish Giants and were able to
Wow.
protect Ireland from,
Yeah.
from the enemy, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
now this idea has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with soccer teams where they're always fighting over there, has nothing to
You're
do
right.
with any type of disagreement. The colors are neutral. They use the teal green because it's a neutral green for the Catholic and Protestant.
That's amazing.
The Finn McCool is a total neutral figure. That's nothing to do with religion. They have a rule in the Odyssey Arena. That's where the Giants play. That if you enter the arena, you can't wear any you can't wear any soccer jerseys. You either wear a Belfast Giants jersey or civilian regular clothes. You can't bring any other sports stuff in there because it can cause division. There's no national anthem in the Odyssey Arena to avoid any confrontations between Ireland and Britain. And all of this, they wanted a player to come in to be the face of the team. They wanted him to be, you see how it says hard man here? So this is what they call tough guy in the UK. They don't say tough guy. They call us hard man.
Hard man.
That's the idea of the T-shirt. So the hard man was in the UK. The tough guy is what they say in North America. The enforcer is what the hockey people usually say. But this is what it really is. It's the sheriff. Right? You see how there's a line cross, right? There's a line cross.
Yeah.
So that's explaining.
Yeah.
But now, the reason why I brought that up too is because the Belfast Giants, man, they embraced the whole sheriff thing. That's what the sheriff thing blew up.
That's
when I started
amazing.
getting, like, see this badge? This is actually from Belfast. They would sell these badges, right? It's like a ring case. They would sell these for £3 at the arena. Yeah, this is my badge that they sold in the Belfast.
Hey! Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
So now, just imagine. So now, I had just won my 3rd Man of the Year award in the AHL. It's an award that they give to the guy that has the biggest impact in the community, right? I won 2 with Rochester and then 1 with Rockford. Rockford was my last year. So now, Belfast was trying to recruit a guy, a hard man, that would do all the public appearances. They had all these off-ice events to bring the communities together, and they asked me if I'd be that guy, man. And I told them, and they said, "What's your nickname?" I said, "The Sheriff." They're like, "We're gonna do an article saying there's a new sheriff in town. We need you to be our guy. Will you be our hard man? Will you agree to our contract?" And I said, "You know what? Let me get over there. Let me clear my throat. So now, it, like, you know, me and you know, we're very interesting in our backgrounds, right? A lot of people might not be able to guess like exactly where we're from. So now, I may not look like it, but I'm half Irish, bro. My whole mom's side is white and Irish, right? So
that's beautiful.
And you know, it is. My dad's side is Trinidadian black, right? And so when I went over there, like, not only did I have my heritage behind me, not only did I have the pride of being this hard man that was the face of the team to bring these communities together, all this for the better good, and this wonderful country with all this history and culture. And like, bro, like, there was nothing more that could have given me more pride than to battle for the Belfast Giants, bro. On my chest, the Belfast Giants. Like, bro, like, it's just like, I was so proud to play for them. I was so proud to take off this helmet, spin it on the ice.
Tell me, girl.
Used to ask me, yo, why do you spin your helmet on the ice? And they're like, let me guess. Are you trying to knock the guy down before the helmet stops spinning? I never thought of that before. I'm like,
I like it.
Yeah, man.
That's
exactly why I do it.
Man,
I just do it because I like to spin it. But when I heard that, I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. I should probably say that. You know what I mean? So, bro, I know I'm killing you though, man. I'll tone it down a little bit.
That story, you know, it's an actual mythology in Ireland. And I got adopted by an Irish family. No, a single mother, but she was a Kennedy. Well, she was German, but her mother was a Kennedy. You know what I mean? So I'm from Romania, and the Ireland family I had growing up held it down.
Yeah, bro.
more better than anybody in the fam. So I gotta say that's amazing that you just said that, because Finn McCool, that's a true story. Not a lot of people don't know about that. Well, to me, I believe in mythology, so I believe in religion too. But Finn, they say the cave opens up, a big rock comes, and Finn goes into the cave in Ireland.
Yeah, so there's more to the story. I was, you know what I mean? Like, I probably didn't give it justice, but
crazy.
We told a little bit of it today.
That's amazing, though, man.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I'm just blessed that you even came on and did this. You know, watching you as a kid was amazing. A teenager, amazing. The LNHA, I want the fights like the LNHA and the AHL and the NHL. That would be dope. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, bro. 100%, man. It was such a journey, man. It was really, really cool stuff. And like some of the guys that you meet along the way, like just being able to be friends with John Nasty Maraski right now.
I love my boy Johnny.
We met my second game in the LNAH.
That's my homie.
We had to fight each other twice, but you know he's been on my show. He's been on my show 3 times. I've had a father.
How do you like Johnny?
I've had a Father's Day special with him and his father Gary, who's an absolute you know, just little things like that, man. Like just like you know, like people think like, oh, you played in that crazy league in Quebec. Oh my God, but really, it's like you know, someone could also say, wow, you played like 5 years in that league. It must have been a lot of really cool people that you met and a lot of cool things that you saw. Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Oh yeah. So, hey, I gotta say, John was a great guy to me. When he was in Syracuse, he would literally hold it down for me. Go to Tully's, a restaurant called Tully's, and after the games, and it was John and Brandon. But I'm just so appreciative. This is huge right here. What was it like fighting Francis Lassard, if you don't mind me asking that?
Man.
I remember he'd come in and fight everybody. I'm like, my Lord.
So Francis Lassard, so this guy, he's probably one of the biggest hockey players that I've ever met. Now, what I mean by that is like, if you can remember what Arnold Schwarzenegger looked like when he was winning Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
Lassard looks like that.
No.
Lassard is muscular, like Jeremy Yablonsky, I guess.
I remember Yabo.
Yabo is one of those other guys. Lassard is 6'4", looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a southpaw, and it's not just that he's a southpaw, but he's the fastest puncher, I think, in the history of the world.
Yeah.
If you're 6'5", 6'4", incredible lefty. You got the reach, you got the speed. Man, are you ever hard to fight? And he was a hard guy to fight. He didn't really like to square off. He liked to start fast, like right off the draw. So he always kind of
go,
And he was
all his fights almost.
Man, he was so strong.
Yeah.
I loved having him on my resume, but I would get so frustrated with him, brother, because again, he was a hard guy.
Johnny used to get Johnny used to get mad at him too.
Yeah, him and Johnny fighting, how quickly they punch. Oh my God. It's like an incredible thing to watch. Just like a Joel Terrio John Morassi fight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man, it's something else, bro. This is like you should have your own sports radio show, man.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, you really should, bro.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Honestly, that means a lot to me, man. Thank you.
100%, bro.
Your example of how dreams come true, prayers get answered. Literally, like from watching you your whole career, my whole life, being adopted to Syracuse and then watching hockey. Like I love hockey. I've watched you since I was a kid, and I'm blessed to say that you are my big brother. Literally.
I really appreciate that, bro. That means a lot, bro.
And you in a song with me coming out soon.
Oh! Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
we got some hip hop coming out to the world, man.
So how can I help you get this out, bro? Are you you're gonna post this? Like I know once we're done the live, then it goes to it'll go archive, right?
Yeah. What I'll do is I could post it right to the page, or I could put it in the archive.
Cool.
I mean, I could send it to you. I'll send it to everybody, and then I got you. You already know. I really appreciate anything you want to do to help, man. And I'll do anything you need help with too. You are literally family to me. So I want to make that phone call when we get off here, because I'm gonna have anybody else on. I'm gonna make a phone call and talk to them about what you said, and then send somebody to you, because you need that's the best job to have a coach for fighting. You know, in the NHL.
Yeah.
The world needs that.
The
5 majors, you get more finances.
Now the world needs it, but what they have to understand is that there needs to be rules that are changed. Like, rules for change, they can be changed again, right?
Yeah.
So there needs to be rules that are changed, and an acknowledgement that we're trying to promote and make hockey more exciting. And how we're going to do that is we're going to bring back some of the original pieces of the game. We're going to bring it back more safe and secure and trusted. Okay?
Slap shot in real life.
There you go, bro.
Slap shot in real life coming soon.
Ain't
no movie.
So, bro, like I said, man, you keep this energy. There's no other option but going to the top, bro. The most fun that I've had on a show in a long, long time, my friend. The only thing I compare it to is the episodes with Patrick and Liam McMorrow, my brothers. That's it. You're in that.
No, you, man. Big files, big love, man. Thank you for coming on. This is a dream to me, honestly, and you're a real hero, bro. Thank you for being king. And you're the best sheriff. The sheriff is here, ladies and gentlemen. King Sean McMorrow! Let's go.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Love you, man. One love. Thank you again, brother.
All right, brother.
Peace and blessings. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was King Sean McMorrow. This concludes today's episode with Old Time Hockey is coming back. Oh! Big shout out to the guest today, Mr. Rob Ray from Buffalo, Mr. Garrett Mitchell, Captain Garrett Mitchell, and the Sheriff, Sean McMorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for everything. A big shout out to those 3 guys. May the world see some more hockey fights. Who's going to win the Stanley